Hello and welcome to Mahika Tutorials. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss Java 9 interfaces. We know that interfaces is one of the mechanisms that can be used in Java to achieve abstraction. Now, in different versions of Java, different features have been made available with interfaces. Up to Java 7, interfaces were permitted to have only constants and abstract methods. That is, concrete methods were not permitted till Java 7. Only constants and abstract methods were permitted to be given in an interface. From Java 8 onwards, concrete methods were permitted to be given inside interfaces and they were given as default methods and static methods. They were added so that new features can be added to existing interfaces without making any changes in the classes which implement those interfaces. We have seen default methods and static methods in detail in previous tutorials. Now, from Java 9 onward, new feature of private methods has been introduced in interfaces. We can have private methods as well as private static methods. So from Java 9 onwards, interfaces can have constants, abstract methods, default methods, static methods, private methods, and private static methods. In this tutorial, we will focus on private and private static methods. Other features we have already seen in previous tutorials. Now let us first understand what is the need of a private method in an interface. Suppose if we have an interface where we have different concrete methods which are default methods. Let's say method M1, M2 and M3 are there, and these default methods have certain code which is common in these methods. We have certain code which is common for M1, M2 and M3. Now if we use this approach, then there will be replication of code. That is, same code will be given in different methods. Whereas in case of object-oriented programming, we aim to achieve code reusability. That is, replication of code should not be there. Same code should be used at different places, leading to code reusability. So what can be done to avoid this replication or duplication of code? We can put the common code in a method and then we can call that method in all these default methods, so that code is given only once inside this do common method, like here in our example, and then this do common method can be called in these default methods. Now this method will be of private type. Private means it will be accessible within this interface only, because we are writing this method to remove the duplication of code from the methods which are given in interface. So being private, it will be accessible to the methods of this interface only. It cannot be accessed outside the interface, not even by the classes which will implement this interface. So private method will be accessible within that interface only, and it will help us to remove the duplication of code by putting the duplicate code in this method and then calling this method wherever required in other default methods. Now let us take an example of private method. Suppose if we have an interface where we have different default methods, let's say withdraw, funds transfer and balance inquiry. Now these different methods have certain common code, like first requirement is to check the current balance. So rather than putting the code for checking the current balance individually in these different methods, what can be done? We can write a private method which can return the current balance, and then this method can be called in these different methods: withdraw, funds transfer and balance inquiry, hence leading to the code reusability. Now let us see the need of private static method in an interface. We know that apart from default methods, we can have static methods which can be concrete in an interface, that is, they can also have body. So if some common code is there for different static methods, then that common code can be put together in one private static method. Now, why this method is static? Because we know that static method can access only static members. So, to put the common code for these static methods, we will put a private static method which will perform the job which is common for these different static methods. So we can say that private methods lets us share the common code between the other public methods, and private methods must have a body. They cannot be of abstract type, they are concrete. And private methods can be used to write redundant code, hence it increases code reusability and removes the duplication of code. Thank you for watching this tutorial. For further queries, you can mail us at mahika.tutorials@gmail.com. Please subscribe the channel for more updates.